So Jalen Williams probably put up the best finals performance I've seen in a very long time, especially considering he's not the number one star of the team. I want to talk about that. But first, welcome back to the Out of Bounds podcast. The Pacers and the Thunder just played in game five of the NBA Finals, and the Thunder pulled away with it. The Pacers tried to come back in the fourth, do one of their patented comebacks, but turnovers, along with just timely buckets from the Thunder, stopped them from winning it. And we're going to talk about it all right here. Let's talk about first what the Thunder did right to win this game. I think the very first thing we need to talk about is Jalen Williams. He just dominated this game. He literally looked like prime LeBron James. The driving was incredible. Every shot he put up, you felt like it was going to go in. Even the ones you didn't think were going to go in, went in. There were times when he literally just was falling, shot the ball up. It like went above the backboard. That's how high it was. And then it ended up scoring. It was ridiculous. He had I think it was 3 of 5 from 3-pointers this game too. By the way, he had 40 points. We need to talk about that. Jalen Williams, 40 points. This is his third game now with over 26 points. The last game was great. And he's just been getting more and more comfortable and more efficient with his scoring. Hot take, if he puts up the same, let's not say anything less. If he put the same performance in game 6 to win them the championship as he did today, I think he has a chance and a case to win Finals MVP. Shai has been putting up consistently good numbers. He's averaging, I think, around 30 points per game again. But if J-Dub does another 40-plus point performance, it would be hard to take that from him, too. Other than J-Dub, though, I feel like the Thunder were just so cohesive today, and when their shooting is on, they're going to win the game. I mean, Casey Wallace shot really well from 3. Aaron Wiggins shot well from 3. Lou Dort, even when he wasn't in foul trouble, he shot well from 3. Shai I don't know if he made a 3-pointer in this game, but every time he got down into the middle of the floor, downhill, it was an automatic bucket, as it usually is. Something else that went well for them, but I don't know if it's necessarily because of them, but I think it is because of their identity as a physical team, is they did get away with a lot of fouls. I might catch some heat for that, but they were conservative with the whistle, the referees, in the first half of the game and a little bit in the third-ish quarter. It was just a little interesting to me. This is probably not the most journalistic integrity thing of me to say, but I genuinely am starting to develop a huge annoyance with Alex Caruso. I know everyone loves him, and I think he is a great player to have on your team, but he constantly fouls, and he gets called for it, and then once he gets called for it, he puts his arms up and complains every time, and it's like an obvious wraparound foul. I don't understand what he's looking at if he truly believes that's not a foul. Anyway, I just needed to get that vent out of my head. Also, Lou Dort, but I think a lot of people are a little annoyed or frustrated with Lou Dort because he genuinely just slaps people. He slaps the fuck out of people. He's like a young Draymond to me, especially with that shooting. I mean, he's shooting great right now. But either way, their defense, with or without some interesting calls, was still great this entire game. But yeah, I really love the way they shot the ball, and J-Dub is the story of the game for me. Now let's talk about the Pacers, because I think this was very winnable for them, but they just didn't have the stuff. Tyrese Halliburton obviously was not feeling good. He had a calf injury. He had 0 points through the first 2 quarters. I wrote it down in my notes here. The first time he scored this game was at 7:07 in the third quarter. He didn't have a field goal this game. And part of that is his fault. He's an NBA star. He should be able to score a bucket. But also, he was obviously bothered by OKC's defense and bothered by his calf pretty badly. And it sucks to see, because if he can't get over that for the final game, it's not looking good at all for them. I feel like Nembhard is really passive. Basically, this entire first half of the game, the Pacers seemed like they didn't want to shoot the ball, which I feel like they're usually really good at balancing the sharing and ball movement with the I'm taking this shot and I'm making it type of vibe. Pascal Siakam, I feel like he did everything he could this game. I feel like at this point, if somehow they win and Tyrese Halliburton doesn't put up an insane performance again, he's probably going to get Finals MVP. I liked Matherin's effort a lot. I think a lot of the referees or a lot of the fouls on them were also very ticky-tacky, and I don't really agree with them either. But that's just the way the cookie crumbled. They didn't get the benefit of the doubt with the whistle that the Thunder did. But again, I don't really think that made too much of a difference. Maybe in the momentum of the game. You never know. That's just the way the game played. And I don't think the Pacers really dealt with that very well. Their defense was fine, but there was a lot of times where they just collapsed and there was an open shooter with like a second and a half to load up, which is not that acceptable for an NBA Finals game. And the number one thing, I don't know how it took me so long to say this, the turnovers this game were horrible because the Thunder weren't provoking that many. It was just stupid, bad passes and turnovers. Obviously, the pressure is going to make them uncomfortable, right? But they did a good job dealing with that in the first few games, I felt like. Even the first game, the game that they came back, they were struggling with turnovers in the first half, right? I think 19 turnovers in the first half, but those felt all like Thunder caused turnovers. This game, it just felt like they were throwing the ball away all the time. It just was kind of unfortunate to see again because a lot of these things were in their control and they just did not execute. On the topic of execution, TJ McConnell, man, he did so well in that third quarter. He had like 11 points in that quarter alone, and he didn't play for like the end of the third and like most of the fourth. I don't get it. I don't understand what that was from Rick Carlisle. Maybe it was just a rotational, like, I want to make sure I do my thing kind of game. But I would have loved to see him in the game more because he was outstanding. Like, he was the highlight of this game for me, right behind J Dub. Honestly, he was almost on par with it when it comes to performing above your level. He was by far the star, and they kind of wasted that game from him. Game 6 is very contingent on Tyrese Halliburton to me. The Pacers are obviously going to be giving it everything they've got. I think the Thunder are a little worried. I wouldn't be surprised if the Pacers came in pushing the pace, but Tyrese Halliburton is the number one catalyst for this offense, at least when they win. I mean, today I feel like it's TJ McConnell, but when they win, Tyrese Halliburton's at his best. And obviously he wasn't today because of his calf, so we need to keep an eye on that going into game 6. But he needs to do a lot better. The shooters need to shoot because their shooting was also just not there very much today. Obviously, if it was there, it would be a different game, but they just couldn't make shots. And yeah, there isn't really much else to say from me. I think that this was a pretty fun game all in all, especially with that little comeback. They were down by as little as 2 points in the beginning of the fourth quarter. It's unfortunate we couldn't have more of that close game vibe because they kind of pulled away with like 5 minutes left. But if you want to see my thoughts on the previous games, go ahead. I got recaps to game 1, 2, and 3 up right now. And subscribe for more if you appreciate ball because I'm going to be posting content about basketball all summer. So be ready for that. With all that being said, I love you guys very much. Please stay healthy, and I'll see you guys after game 6.